Well, I have my latest project here. I should have done some filming with it earlier, but, well, let's say trying to crawl underneath this thing and hold a camera at the same time, especially when it's like 40 degrees out and howling winds, good luck with that. Anyway, let me introduce her. This is my new, to me, 1999 Chevy Tahoe LT. I just picked it up from a Capital Auto auction for $550 before fees, of course. After about 800 something, I put a starter and an not alternator, battery on it. Both of those were about $120. So all in, I'm into it for a bit over $1,000. I bought it mostly just as a cheap tow vehicle. The underside is actually in really good shape. But main reason I got this thing so cheap is because it was a non-runner. But of course, after the starter and alternator, it runs just fine now. You can see the condition that the frame is in. It is nice. There's a bit of crustiness under here, but this truck is almost as old as I am, so that's to be expected. And that's nothing that a needle scaler, some rust converted paint, and some fluid film can't fix. Body's in pretty good shape too. A bit of tiny bubbling, like over there by the gas cap. I think there was some on the, over on the fender on this side, but again, that's nothing. Well, even these tires are in at least decent shape. What's the DOT on them? I don't see. We've got a little spider here. You don't want to stay there, little guy. This is not a place for arachnids. I just threw a battery in this thing like 10 minutes ago. I changed the starter well over the course of a couple days because it was kind of rusted in place, or at least one of the lugs was. So I had to get the stuff I needed from my job. But, like I said, she does run, she does drive, alternator charges. This thing, this side post has been the death of me. I was afraid that there was something wrong with the engine because I tried putting my jump box to it and it wouldn't run. But of course, because it's a side post, you can't really jump it with a pack like mine very readily. It is what it is. I already checked the engine oil and trans fluid. Those are good. No milkshake, so the intake gaskets are probably fine. Brake fluid's a bit gungy, but I'm gonna flush that. Of course, I'm gonna change all the fluids, all the filters, and that belt is pretty dry rotted as well. But overall, it is in very good shape for what it is. Other little things, like there is no lock cylinder in this door. The inner door handle, I can hear the latch mechanism, but I don't think it's hooked up to the actual latch. But when I get the chance, I'll take the door panel off and fiddle with it. I don't think the lock works. Gonna subject you to the beeper for now. Interior's a bit dirty, but that's not too bad. Overall, seats are in good shape. I think the windows all work too. That's a first for me. Hatch works. And it's already got one of these things in here. It's got a bit of trim pieces, like a kick panel and the driver door latch thing. I'm gonna have to, well, no sense putting that in. Another thing I noted is that the hood latch was kind of busted. Or, well, not the hood latch itself, but it does latch and unlatch, but the little bolt here that holds it to the side doesn't work. So I don't know. I might just try to hot glue it back in or something. I might just say fuck it and leave it as is. Again, I got this truck for basically $1,000. So, I'm not too pressed about little details like that. Oh yeah, another trim piece that's over there, I think. Down in the passenger footwell, the trim piece for the dome light. Alright, I'll close it up. Well, let me close the hood first. Yeah, I won't even have to replace these tires yet. Yeah, these still have a good bit of life in them. Why would you donate a truck like this? This has tons of potential. This thing has tons of potential. There we go. No, nothing on the four-wheel drive. Maybe there's a bulb in there that's burnt out, I don't know. Nothing in the cluster indicating it. Alright, let's see. Yep. Said the brakes are still a bit squishy because the fluid is old. I don't know what the pad life is like on them. But, yeah. You probably can't feel it, but I can feel the ABS pump pulsating a bit. Again, I'm probably just assuming that maybe... Well, I don't know how long it's been sitting for, so the brakes are definitely going to be a bit rusty. The rotors and the inside of the drum. I believe all GMT 400s use rear drum brakes. Doesn't really matter to me. It means less maintenance on my part. I know a lot of guys my age tend to fear drum brakes, but I've done plenty of them. They're not that bad. I've done plenty of them. Power steering pump doesn't whine. Oh yeah. She feels nice. Really nice. Got a bit of kick down here. I'm gonna park it for now. Another thing, I'm gonna have to go to the junkyard. Probably gonna want to replace that mirror, and I gotta get a new rear view because, well, this one doesn't have one. I'll just get a mount and glue it on or something. This radio is kind of shitty. Time doesn't adjust, and there's a few other little things, but I don't know. I've got one of those little Bluetooth to, not Bluetooth, aux to tape adapters, so I'll run that for the time being, and eventually I'll probably retrofit this with one of the I think one of the ones that like One Factory Radio makes, where it looks like the OEM unit, but it retrofits Bluetooth in there. So I'd want something like that, because I do like the look of these old 90s head units. You can see she's been running this whole time and idling good. Fuel's probably not the best, so it is what it is. Let me get this off of here. We won't be needing that. But I will be needing that mirror and that mirror. A few other things. It's definitely going to need shocks. When I do the fluids, I'm going to change out the transmission pan for one that has a drain bolt. I just did one of those on our shop truck at the dealership I work at. It's a 2007 Silverado with the same 4L60E, and it is a pain in the fucking ass trying to get the fluid out without making a huge mess all over the floor and yourself. Having a drain bolt, in my opinion, is a necessity. And for the rear differential, I don't know why they didn't do this on these, but when I'm not changing the rear diff fluid until I order a new cover. On Rock Auto, they have some of those like Yukon ones for the GM 8.5, 8.6 rear ends, where they have drain and fill plugs on the cover itself. I'm definitely ordering one of those for this because I hate taking off the cover every single time you do the rear diff. It's stupid. It's unnecessary. My old Frontier had a drain bolt on it. I did take the cover off on that, but only because it was it had some pinholes in the cover itself, and I replaced it. But yeah, you can see I am gonna have to clean it out. That's nothing too bad. I'll give my new extractor vacuum a test run. I did say I wanted to try my hand out at detailing myself. So this would be a little interesting experiment. See, I got a bunch of push pins in here. I could certainly use those, I'm sure. Gotta figure out what's up with this four-wheel drive switch. I don't know. The cup holders, change holder, ashtray. I don't smoke, so not much use for that. This thing doesn't appear to have been used either. Cup holder down here. Got a clipboard thingamajig here. Bit of trash in here. Again, I'm gonna clean all this out. Got your separate armrests for the captain's chair front seats. I'm just rambling at this point. I'll make another video. I'll try to make one soon, and you guys can see what it's like underneath it. Like I said, I've crawled underneath it physically, but yeah, trust me, there is no way I'm going to be able to film anything like that. Gauges, oil. I don't know if that's a dummy. I don't know if that oil pressure gauge is a dummy one. I had a Lincoln Navigator, like it was a 99, I think. 98 or 99, one of those. Or one of the early ones. With the 4-valve 5.4 in it. I got that truck for about $800 off of Facebook Marketplace. I had it for about a month. I would have used that, but one day I changed the oil, and about 3 days after this, I had been driving it to try and shake it down. The thing just spins a rod bearing on me out of nowhere. Turns out the oil pressure gauge was a dummy one, and the pickup got clogged. I don't know with what. I ended up just cutting my losses on that truck and selling it because I didn't have the means of tearing apart the bottom end at the time. Even though if I had the equipment and knowledge I do now, I probably could have just dropped the pan and changed out the bearings and sent it. But that was a few years ago, so way too late on that. But yeah. Oil pan is a bit leaky on this thing, but I'm probably not going to replace it unless it gets bad. I think it's better with leaks just to change the PCV valve. But yeah, alternator's got voltage. There's still some fuel in there. It's probably old and varnished. I'll worry about that later. Well, once I fill it up, of course, it'll dilute the old gas. Temp gauge appears to be working. Speedometer works. Tach works. I'm not entirely sure if the odometer does, but I don't know. I was debating on whether I'm going to run historic tags on this thing or not. I'm not sure. I'll mull that over. I'll have to take a look at it first and see whether or not it's likely to pass inspection. Well, definitely going to need a mirror first. And that. I think the tires will pass. Well, the shocks will probably fail, but I already know it'll need those too. Well, let me quit rambling. Alright, I'll keep you guys posted. All 5 of you watching.